All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's good enough. It's time. We're all here. Ginny's on the phone. To start, I wish us all a healthy and a happy new year, especially emphasis on the healthy.
Yes.
You know, last year was not a good year for me. I hope it's better for all of us. And with that, let's have the approval of the minutes.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Take either one.
Yeah, all opposed? Okay, that's done. President's remarks. I don't have many remarks. The weather's cold, we're moving ahead. What I want to talk about will come up later. Mike's got to talk about something that'll come up later. Yeah, you know, and yeah, that's it. There's nothing I should say now that won't come up later, so I'll let it go. Rhea.
I'll be sending out bills at the end of January, as we all know, and I just checked the CPI calculator, Consumer Price Index, and as of November, that's the latest calculation they have, the covenant fee should be $129.56, and that's an increase from $126 for this current year.
So 3%, 3.2.
Yeah, well, I didn't look, yeah, that'd be about right, yeah. So the question is, can I go ahead and round that up to 130? Or do you want me to wait until January's numbers are in, or December's numbers, wait another month, or whatever?
No, I would base it just like the Social Security does, you know, same timing.
Is it the same time you
It's
did it?
basically the
3.2%
same
is
time.
what they've already
They've already
decided.
decided it,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so I'll go with 130.
So anybody
Covenant.
that's retired in the community, they're getting 3.2 from Social Security and we're taking it.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah, there you go. I guess we don't need a motion on that, we do this every year, so,
Right, yeah.
okay.
But no, but you asked, do we want to round it up or do we want to?
Well, I always round it.
Oh, you always
I
round
always
it.
round it, yeah.
From 50 cents, how do you do that?
129.56.
Oh, 56, oh,
130.
excuse me.
They're on the other side.
56, yes.
50 I would round up as well, that's what I've always.
What would you do at 49 to go
I-
back?
Go
I mean,
back.
seriously.
Seriously, that's what I learned, right?
Yeah. All right, okay.
Isn't this something the board should formally
Make a motion
endorse?
on?
I think, yeah, I
It's
think
easy to
maybe.
do and
That's fun, but.
Yeah,
what
is
do you
there,
think? Yeah.
do we have a motion to endorse that and the rounding?
I move that we endorse it.
I
second it.
Or all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right, next thing.
Probably also received maybe your assessments, for the property assessments.
Ours went way up.
I have no idea, I looked at ours for the association, and I've only found one that increased, because all of these were vacant lots for the, you know, and why one increased, I don't know. But I don't have them all in yet, so.
I didn't get it for the house.
I think we got it.
Well, you got,
Yeah.
Ours.
We got
I
it.
will.
Mine came like,
Well,
maybe you were down here.
No, I got that. They came
Yeah,
for-
ours went up
came-
like
they came
by
for the
$80,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
80?
Yeah,
80?
yeah.
It went
What?
up 80?
Yes.
It went up what, 80?
Yeah, so,
80,000?
80 what?
yeah, so our house
The
is
assess,
up
oh, the
to-
assessment.
the assessment,
I'm thinking of the
Oh,
amount.
but that'll affect your taxes.
Right,
Yeah, yeah.
and we haven't done anything to the house, so I was like,
But
okay.
inflation and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and that's just.
Wow.
This is why I can't afford a house.
You might look into appealing now.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
call
you
them
might
and
wanna
ask
We
them.
appealed last time, because ours last time went way up, and then we didn't win our appeal, which I was kind of surprised.
Did they tell you why?
No, our shed, they valued a lot higher than I thought. I was like, okay, but anyway.
Wow.
Well, we did appeal and we didn't win.
Maybe I'll just keep renting.
I think it's also the land that goes way
Yeah.
up.
The land stayed the same.
Stay the same?
It's the house and the shed that
Usually land.
yeah.
Wow.
Um,
Now I'm not looking forward to seeing mine.
Okay, quarterly, I'll be doing the quarterly request for funds from the special tax district, and it's all on electric right now. For the previous quarter, I'm just billing for SMECO, because we haven't had any other expenses that haven't already been paid for. Well, let me take that back, I think there's, yeah, there's some money in there for John Wood. I mean, so he's already been paid and everything, but it's the Rock City First Home customer. So that total is $46,5220, and that's for the last quarter. And lastly, I'll be on vacation from January 6th to the 13th. Which is why we had to move the meeting to today.
Yeah, I'm gonna be gone until the 8th.
Are you?
Yeah, we'll be this week.
Okay. And that's it.
All right. Well, yeah, let's just quickly go around the table. Or no, wait a minute, well, we'll leave Mike. Yeah, let's just do it as it's listed. Rita, what do we have on?
Okay, primarily, Steve Rowe, our new project manager, has been working with J. Calvin Wood and Grover's Landscape, I'm gonna pass these out, to price a few areas that have been on the list for some of them some time. And this is a partial list of the full list, and he organized it to say which are priorities. And he lists that as an M. If you look on the column, there are M's, and that means must have. So he has prices from both Grover and John Wood on more than this, but these are the amounts, for the must-haves. And if you look, John Wood's are substantially higher, his estimate, substantially. For all of the areas listed, Grover's priced it at $76,1525, so under 8,000. John, $30,155. And Steve tried to, look at it and say, well, what is it that John Wood is doing that Grover's is not? So these notes at the end, materials, parentheses, John
I
Wood.
don't see it, I don't see it, Rita, point out
What,
where
the
you.
total?
No, where you're
No, but-
talking about.
Well, there's one example, there's one example right here, third from the bottom, Johnson Drive, where Grover's estimate is $650, and Wood's estimate is $6,525.
So
Yeah.
10 times.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you look at that top row, it's got the name Grover, and then if you
Yeah.
go on over J. Wood, and then you
Yeah,
come down
got
those
that.
columns.
But I don't see a 30,000.
I don't see a 30,000.
Total.
Oh, total.
Oh, okay.
The
30,000.
total, if you add all
Oh,
these,
because it's not on there, that's
I
why I
didn't-
don't see
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
that's why I don't see it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not,
okay.
you have to click on the cell and it'll come up, so I just wrote it on the
So the wood is
notes.
30,000, and what's the Grover?
7615.
Oh, wow.
Is the work, do we have details elsewhere on the work the two are doing? The same?
Steve does. I know, well, these notes kind of tell you that are in here, under comments. And then, that's what I started to say, is that last column, Steve tried to pull out, well, what's John doing that Grover is not, and why is it so much more expensive? And in some cases, there just isn't much different, John's adding filter cloth, things like that. Actually, Steve was gonna be here tonight. He came in my office this morning with a mask. He's been sick, he's feeling better. He doesn't think it's COVID, he just didn't wanna come in here and
That's fine.
expose it.
Gotta think twice, he can come in
Yeah,
some other time.
Exactly. So he stood over here, I stayed at my desk. So,
I really don't understand this one, like the one where the difference is 10 times. I mean, I just sort
oh, I
of
know,
read it
it's
and
crazy.
I just don't, I don't understand that.
Well, also like the number, the third one,
Yeah.
one is 0, one is.
That's because if you look over the next
It's
column,
included,
it's
so
included with the one above it.
Included.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you total the two, the one
So
above
one
and
is-
above count, it's.
Yeah.
15.5
15,
versus
yeah.
29.
Compared to
Yeah.
15.5.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Difference.
15.5 to
Yeah.
29.8.
Yeah.
Has
Yeah.
anyone contacted Wood about these numbers?
Anybody contacted who?
John Wood.
Well, Steve is working with him, and I don't know if he's talked with him since. I don't think so.
Okay.
I think he wanted to, supposedly be here tonight too. And he can describe to you, what all of this
Did
means
he-
versus,
Did he give you a sense of it? I mean, he knows what these columns say, so did he
Yeah.
give you a sense of why one might be so much more expensive?
he really couldn't respond except to say there's those few notes there that, John Wood is including 15 tons of surge stone versus, I think, less for Grover's.
Well,
Have we had work done by Grover before?
Oh, yeah.
And if we've been happy with it, I would just.
Yeah, I
go
can tell
with
you,
Grover.
I can
Yeah.
tell you from experience on the ones we
Yeah,
already
you've looked
done,
at all of these, Mike.
that the numbers under Wood are ridiculous.
Oh, okay, then,
Yeah.
The ones under Grover are reasonable, and that's about the order of things we paid for the similar type of work.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
oh, well, that,
And
So,
Grover has done a lot of work for us in the
yeah,
past.
yeah.
So he's a
that's-
reputable
Oh,
vendor.
yeah,
Yeah,
Grover's
yeah.
on street, yeah, absolutely.
I think
And-
it's no
and usually,
contest.
Johnny is usually halfway decent, but this
This
is
is
ridiculous. I
ridiculous,
don't know.
yeah.
Maybe he just doesn't want any work.
Me,
He may be busy and he doesn't need it.
And they won't get it.
There is money
Yeah.
as far as in the budget,
Yeah.
under stormwater management. So I think I could probably bill most of this to the county.
Well, you know, but here's
Be a
another
little
one.
bit over.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Grover has them both together for 1,600.
Yeah.
Wood has them separated,
Yeah.
and the bill comes out to be over $6,000.
I know,
Yeah.
yeah. And Steve went around with both contractors. They went around separately, and this is what I'm looking for, what do you think? He didn't actually give them a statement of work. I want A, B, C, D. He didn't do that. He wanted to know what their take was on how to fix it, this particular issue.
Right.
Steve isn't an engineer. He doesn't,
Yeah.
you know, depend on
That's
contractors, yeah.
So the bottom line is that you've got two bids, right?
Yeah.
Or two estimates.
Two estimates.
And all we have to do is approve the one or the other. Is that what the action is?
Well, I would say so, yeah.
Okay.
Will we be doing it one at a time, or do you want to do them
No,
all
I
right now?
think part of it is, the idea on the pricing is that grouping it together like this, they can give you a little better price.
Yeah,
Right.
that
Yeah,
makes sense.
they might take
Well,
several days,
no.
but I think that's the idea.
Right. I have one question, on Ottawa, the second from the bottom.
Uh-huh,
Is that the one that was complaining after the paving?
yes.
That should not be on there.
He is absolutely insistent.
That's
Who,
too
who's
bad.
he?
Okay,
Who's he?
Dan Flora.
Oh, the owner.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
sorry, the
oh,
owner.
if it's right after paving, Bonnie and I had the same problem, and we had to go through a whole lot of hoops to fix it
They
ourselves.
already put a wider apron on this thing,
Yeah.
because this guy's lot is well below the grade level of the road. Okay, no matter what you do, he's gonna have a drop off into his lot. What he would want would be excessive compared to what we've done on every other lot that we paved.
He claims that since we paved, the road is higher and that's why
No,
this has
it's,
happened.
no,
Okay.
that one I think we ought to fight.
Well, then I think Steve told him, you know, because I relayed that information to Steve. Steve met with him again, and then I got a phone call from Dan Flora the following week. So I think what I'll do is I'll compose a letter, and I'll send it to Tony and Mike, since you're quite familiar with it, you guys, and then send it to him. Because he's not listening to me.
Okay, yeah, you need to push it up.
Yeah.
To get it
Yeah.
to us.
Yeah, that's, because I went out and looked at it
Yeah.
after he initially complained. And the width of the apron, the CR6 apron that we provided on that property compared to anything else was substantial, and it's not enough of a drop to where it should cause any problem.
Okay. I'm
But
just
he's
making it
having
out.
problems, I guess.
He's always gonna have problems because the lot is substantially lower than even the old, than the basic road bed.
And is his driveway, it's all CR, or whatever, gravel anyway.
Yeah.
So is it kind of
it's
washing out?
basically just dirt.
Does it go down? Does it, like, here's the road, does it then go down a little bit? That's what you're saying, the lot
Yeah.
sits lower.
Now, if Steve is saying that the CR6 that we put in there is washed out, that's a different issue. And that,
I'll ask.
that ought to be taken up with the paving contractor.
He
They
didn't mention that that was an issue.
But it looked like they had done a good job, they tamped it down real good. It had a nice gradual slope into his yard. But he doesn't have a driveway, he's got a yard.
Okay, so I'll do that.
What's
So,
what's the address of the property?
it's on,
It's on the- it's on the- it's on the-
12967.
The second to the bottom, the first column, second from the bottom.
All right, well, moving right along, do we have to vote on any of
Yeah,
this
you'd have
today?
to make a motion.
On-
Well,
on the
or,
whole thing?
To what?
well,
We have to make a motion
yeah,
Well,
to
to accept
approve
the
it.
estimate
Well,
of
well, wait a minute, well, don't
with
we
the
wanna,
exception
with
of.
the exception of Ottawa?
Well, but
Yeah.
yeah, but wait a minute. You said Steve was still talking to these guys.
Yes,
So we don't have a
it's
best and
premature.
final on these
Okay,
things yet.
it's premature.
So let's wait till we get his best and final and see where we go from
Okay.
there.
All right, so
That's
that's
it
that.
then on
You have anything else, Ray?
no.
Jack?
Well, the budget looks okay, just as you'd expect every month. There's a few sub-items that are over budget, but it's ones that we expected. The main categories are all well within where we would expect to be this time of year. I wish I could say the same about the reserve study.
Oh, let's hold that, let's hold
Is that
that.
not,
Yeah, let's hold that until we get to it on unfinished business.
all right.
Hold that thought.
Yeah, anything
Glad
else?
to,
Anything else?
yeah.
That's it. All right, so that means we are now at Miss Bonnie.
I have nothing, but I know Jenny does. She-
Jenny,
I-
you have something?
Yes, she does.
All I have is to just remind everybody, the next Ivy League is gonna be on January 13th, which is a Saturday from 10 to 12. And still don't have the lot yet, I think it's gonna be on Curve Drive, but I probably should know exactly which lot it will be within the next few days, and then I'll send something on to Rhea so she
Okay.
can send it out.
All right. Good, good. John's not here for safety. Welcoming committee.
I think I've distributed one in the last, excuse me, 4 in the last month. I think that's right. And I still have 5 on hand. You guys put a lot together last time.
Yes. Okay,
That's it.
good.
All right. Planning, Mike, you want to talk about the beach?
Yeah, okay, so basically the beach is done. And I think it all looks good. Came in under good. Then the issue became, what do we do about this planting area? Because we had to plant, a certain percentage of it on marsh grass and shoreline preservation stuff, which we did, and that has a requirement that we monitor that and take care of it for 5 years, including putting up a goose exclusion fence and a blaze orange fence.
What?
Sounded pretty ridiculous.
What's a
Blaze
blaze?
orange?
That
Well,
color.
That you
Orange,
a
it has to be
construction
orange.
fence?
Yeah, you can buy,
Blaze orange.
Orange construction fence.
To keep people off or something? Oh,
Yeah, so
what-
keep geese out.
The geese can't fly, so they won't be able to walk through it.
Well, the geese can fly up and.
No,
Yeah, they don't, but they don't fly like that.
Maybe they could,
Now
they
you're,
could
now,
fly, it was
now,
smart, they would.
now you're mixing logic with,
Yeah,
Well, I
please.
think it discourages them. It's not.
So anyway, so Rhea talked to him, we got a little more basic understanding of it, decided that, and they told us that if we put up, this exclusion fencing, which is basically just black mesh fencing, if we put that up and then put some decorative orange ribbons on it, that'll qualify. So
Glad
we
you're
did-
not my decorator.
But that area butts right up against the end of the road, which we had cut off nicely, got rid of all the old asphalt, put the sand in there. And so to keep the yo-yos from driving into said grass, or walking into said grass, we decided that, or maybe I decided, we should put up some posts at the end of the road as a scourging, okay. Well, that was okay, but then Joe kind of overachieved, and put railings across the top of the posts, and then put in more posts over on the other side of the road, you know, as you come into the beach access.
Well, we had talked about that,
Well,
when we were there, you and I were there,
Yeah.
and they were doing the size of the roads.
right,
And he just, the rail though wasn't in the.
but anyway, so he put those up. Then there were a series of emails around between all of us, and we all voiced our opinion. And then I went and looked at it again. I said, okay, what are we gonna do? And by this time, he'd put railings up on all of it, okay? With a couple gaps where you could get a vehicle through or to get, you know, something in. But those gaps were over on the other side. Well, when I looked at it, when you got one, we basically decided that the section at the end of the road, the railing helped as a deterrent. You know, there's a bar across there, so less likely to walk through the posts and onto the grass.
I agree.
So
Yes.
we left that up. When I went and looked at it, I thought, well, maybe we can get rid of the other railings. But the more I looked at it, I thought, it's gonna look stupid. It looks stupid enough as it is, but it's gonna look even more stupid if we have one section with railing and then a section of 2 or 3 posts and no railing, and then another section of 2 or 3 posts with no railings. So after looking at it with the railings, I said, well, I think aesthetically, it looks better with the, if we're gonna stay uniform, keep it all looking the same.
Can I,
It's not gonna last a long time anyway. And if we watch, I think if we get to the point where we're satisfied, people are staying off and everything, we can remove at least the railings on the other side and remove those posts. And it's been suggested that we maybe use like large rocks, boulders,
Well, that's something.
which I think in the long term would be a better solution.
yeah.
We have to have something, because people will drive onto that beach,
Yes.
and they
Yeah.
get stuck in
Yeah, I
there.
won't argue.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I have to have
I
something.
want to make one comment too, just because I've seen it with my own eyes, when you just have a single post, kids take them out of the ground and they throw them in the water. I've
Right.
seen it. They do it on the causeway and also on the Laurel Dip,
Yeah.
they do, so I don't know if having something on the
Well,
top
that's a-
will keep
yeah.
it all
And
together
so I thought that the
better.
railing would also
Yeah, you
discourage
know,
that.
But I think rocks in the future would be probably the
You know,
way to go.
maybe the thing to do is just leave it the way it is for now.
And then we'll see.
Wait until spring, then maybe we leave the railings up along the part where the goose fence is, and then we take it, all the rest of it out and replace it with rock.
Exactly.
So we could, it'd be a couple thousand, just based on what
No, I
John
know.
did down on Riverview, for those big ones that can't just easily be moved out of the way.
big
Right.
ones.
So can we do that in this year's budget, and just go over budget, which,
Well,
it's not like we don't have the
we're
money.
under budget
Well, wait a minute,
before.
can't we call it part of the project?
Yeah, that's true.
Because we're
Yeah,
under
it's
budget,
part
so we
of-
should have money.
Yeah, I didn't think
It's
of
part of the
that.
overall
We're spending so
project,
much
so.
money, we might as well
I didn't think
budget.
about that, yeah.
That's a
you're
good
right.
idea. I mean, obviously, it's something near and dear to me. But so the long-term plan then would be
Rocks.
Maybe
remove
something
them, put in some
aesthetically
aesthetically pleasing.
Put in
rocks.
something, I mean, rocks or,
I
you
think the rocks
know.
are the
But
best.
I would think it's short term, for the next 5 years, you're gonna have the
Well,
posts with the railing
I don't
in
know.
front
I
of
don't
the
know.
goose,
No,
in front of the
Five
goose fence, I
In front of
think
the
you need
goose
it.
fence.
Front of the
5
goose.
months.
5 months, do it in
No.
the spring.
No.
Well,
You're
we
gonna
could,
have the goose fence for 5
we
years.
could reevaluate that too as we go along, but,
But the goose fence is a standing thing itself.
Yeah.
Oh,
but it's
come
so
on,
flimsy,
Let's,
You-
it is so flimsy.
And don't you have to take pictures of the goose fence to show the county
Yeah.
that you still
I
have it?
know, I know guys
Yeah.
who've got a
Yeah, we have
tricycle.
to-
Yeah.
We have to do a yearly
Let's just
report.
reassess the summer.
Is there money left in the project?
Yes,
Oh,
there's
Is the J
38,000,
project?
there's 38,000 left in there.
So that's good.
I was thinking
Yeah,
more
I'll
in
do
terms
rocks
of,
for 38.
Yeah, we came in under.
yeah,
Okay,
Well,
that,
well,
how many
rocks?
that's what, so,
How many rocks can we buy?
It'd be a shame not to have it aesthetically pleasing.
I think
Yeah,
the rocks
I
are
know.
I mean, it is really, I mean, again, obviously, a little bit, I've been a little OCD on it, but guilty as charged, but it is beautiful, I mean, it really is.
So I have a
beautiful.
question, If we have, part of the idea of that fence to block people, not use exclusion area, but the other rest of it was to keep idiots from driving onto the beach.
Right.
So if we, when we substitute rocks for that fence, can those what if we have to have a contractor come in? I mean, is there room for,
Well-
to leave an area where, I mean, how will that work?
We're gonna have
Well,
to.
you're gonna have to leave it, there's already, I was just there today. I don't know if it's a new wide space, but this puppy is big enough for a big truck.
Yeah, you can get a,
Where's
yeah, and I don't, and that's another reason, you know, I'm not convinced that even spending that much money on rocks at that point makes sense, because you still gotta have room to get equipment in there.
That's what I meant. Can
Forever?
those rocks be
Forever?
Well,
Well, you
but-
never know.
well, what if part of
Like
any
if the
contract,
troll came
But
down
that's
again.
Smithville bill.
no, but
comes down.
anything that we contract for in the future stipulates you gotta move a rock to get your truck in.
Well,
and
if
put
we
the rock
decide,
back.
to- yeah, if we decide to go that route,
Yeah.
yeah. But, you know, it also means that like if we decide we wanna go in there and rake the beach,
Well, yeah,
or, you know, drag rake it or something
Yeah.
like that, then we gotta,
be able to get them over.
but that's not looking at big equipment, that's,
Mhm.
you know, okay, we'll have to,
You know,
And there'll be somebody that has a bike, you know, a motorbike or
Well.
whatever.
Or
Oh, you're not
a
gonna
golf
stop
cart.
those
Or a
guys.
four-wheel, I mean, it's
Or
just
a
gonna,
golf cart,
You're not
yeah.
gonna
you
stop
can't
them.
fix stupid or
I know,
ignorant,
I
and
know.
there's lots of that around here.
No, you can't.
Given that, I have a question to you. I mean, what if we put some signage up, just to,
I wondered that.
Just say-
So much.
no vehicles on beach?
Oh.
Well,
There is a sign
There
there
are
that says that
some
very
signs, and
thing.
we put signs on the goose area
Mhm.
to
Maybe make
keep
it
up.
a more visible sign.
Do a
Because there's
bigger
one
sign
sign that
that
has a lot of
says-
rules, but.
I'm talking about street quality sign.
This is, I think it is street quality.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, I'd have to,
I-
it's been a while, but
I'm
there
not-
is a sign.
I'm not fond of signage, people that
I know.
read it, people that don't read them won't read them,
Right,
and other people don't need them.
it's like speed limit sign.
Yeah,
But still,
But it's-
you're covered then.
Yeah, they could,
Yeah, but-
call the
but
police if they.
we're not worried about covered, we're worried about actually keeping them off the
Yeah.
sand.
Right, and I did get, and actually, Joe
Well-
has some signs to say, you know, on the jetty and so on. DPPOA property, use caution or something, uneven surface, they say. There's a couple we already have.
Break
It's
your
the
leg
same
at your
thing,
own
yeah.
risk.
So he'll be putting those
Well,
on.
Jack's got a point, I mean, if it's more than just liability, if we have a sign up there and somebody goes in there and does, some destruction,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and you catch him,
That's true,
and he says, well, so what? He
You
said,
can
well,
find
look
it.
at the sign,
right,
Yeah.
and then you've got
yeah.
a little more teeth to,
Mhm.
you know, to,
Mhm.
And the sheriff's deputies have in the past, when I complained, well, you won't write a ticket, well, you don't have any signage.
right.
Put some signage there and then I can write a ticket because they're parking.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a better chance of having a ticket written.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's better to have.
So I can get a sign that says,
1,500-volt fence. I
A
think,
bigger
or something.
That'll stop them, that'll stop them every
I
time.
like that.
I know there is one, but I'll look and see how big it is and maybe get a bigger one.
It's gotta still be attractive, I don't know.
I know,
Yeah,
they hate
yeah.
to junk it up too much.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be orange.
No, yeah.
It's electric, it
Are we at a
flashes.
place
Cross
that-
this line at your own
Neon.
risk.
So are we at a place that says we've gotta we'll keep up the posts at the end of the road till
So whatever.
whenever?
Till we
And
till we sign off.
in the not too distant future, we
Yeah.
remove the ones
Yeah,
that are the beach and we replace them with
Yeah.
aesthetically.
right, and maybe once that, the marsh grasses have taken hold and we can remove all of the ugly fencing, we can get some smaller rocks,
Yeah.
not too big, but just to put at the end
Yeah,
of
just to
the
mark it,
driveway,
Just to mark it,
to like, hello guys, don't,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
So if we're gonna pay for it out of the jetty budget,
yeah.
is there a timeline on how long that money sits there and we
Well,
can
does-
use it?
Well, our money is there regardless, I mean, the budget's in effect until the end of the
Till
fiscal
the end of the
year.
year, so does it have to happen to pay for it out of that
Well,
by
we
the end
go
of the
into a
year?
rollover if we don't.
We just go into
spend it.
rollover
Yeah.
and we budget for
Yeah.
it for next year.
Put
I-
it
I-
in, next year's budget
Yeah.
too.
If that happens, we'll just put it in next year's budget, the money is
I've got
there.
the answer, nobody's gonna like it.
What-
It's
what-
imported Indian burial ground. And that'll keep everybody
Guarded by tiger bears.
out. That's it,
Yeah, there you go.
that's it.
And also, just real quickly, back to this list, what I thought I would do, because we'll be working on the budget like in March. The other items on that list, I thought that he's gotten estimates on. At another meeting, maybe look at those and budget them for next year. So,
So how does the event get triggered, that we do or don't, or when we do or don't do an aesthetically pleasing solution?
I think we just discuss it every month, you know, I mean, if we can,
When
Put it on the
somebody is
agenda.
so offended, they can't stand it any longer.
Well, we can just add it to the agenda like.
Or until somebody knocks them down and we have to.
Yeah, until
Yeah.
somebody runs over them.
I'm sure somebody will remind me to put it on an agenda, you know?
or we can always we discuss under new business or continue.
Well, I'm just saying,
Continuing
it won't get
business.
lost
Yeah.
in a shuffle.
All right, anything else,
Thank you,
Mike?
guys.
No?
I do appreciate it.
All right, let's move on to unfinished business, and item number 1 is the reserve study. Jack, you were anxious to speak before, you've got the
I'm
floor.
anxious to. Well, everybody's comments have all been put in by Rhea, very nicely done. You know, mostly exclusions, lots has been excluded. But the ones that are still there, I added up today, and it's, comes out to over $300,000.
Is that by their pricing? Why, what they say these things should cost? Because I thought they
Well,
were.
these are prices that we've put in
Okay.
mostly.
Can we talk about the ones that are then include still then?
There's a lot.
Or is there lots?
Oh, yeah, there's pages.
Well, why are we?
See, I don't know why, yeah.
Why do we have, but we may need to pare that down again,
Yeah.
especially if it's
I
going
would-
to have to be too much money.
So I went through based on the comments that everybody had.
We can be convinced that things can
And-
be excluded.
There were a couple of items that I went ahead and excluded, even though there was no firm, yeah, get those out, that out of here. There were 4 of those, so I excluded those. The only thing I kept in where I didn't feel a decision had been made was the dry hydrant. Because based on the, having to repair the one on Laurel Way last year for $2,200. So that seemed to me like that perhaps should be kept in, to be budgeted for.
Yeah.
I excluded everything that I felt had been discussed in
Mr.
this.
Project came up
Well,
with
maybe we just need to do some
Me
more
too.
parent, excluding,
I like this, everything is
you
excluded.
know.
Didn't go any lower.
What was the
Living
thing?
shoreline, and why do we have money in there for that?
Because we have to keep it moving. I don't know what, oh, that's, yeah, I don't know, that's what, and I think, Mike, you had reduced that from 150 to 100,000.
Are you saying this?
In the notes back and forth.
What is the item, can you
that.
tell?
No, that
say
should,
what
that
it
was
is?
just maintenance.
Yeah, why don't, yeah, why, that
I
should
don't know,
just,
the
That shouldn't even be
spreadsheet,
in there.
I think that
no,
should
that
be
is
excluded.
excluded, okay.
I thought we excluded, yeah, I thought we did.
So maybe I misunderstood your note,
Maybe.
yeah.
I just put an EX.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Oh, Rhea,
I could reprint, and shall I send that around to everybody?
just send that around, that's already got
Yeah.
the existing exclusions and.
I will send,
Structure.
Send it to everybody.
That to
Send it-
everybody.
Yeah, right, let's just do that.
and,
'Cause I would
Go
like to
from
see
there.
what we think at this moment is still included, because I think
Yeah.
we should.
I'll send that around, because that is exactly the way they asked us to do it,
Mhm.
which was to draw a
Yeah.
line, make a note, blah, blah, blah. So that's what I did, and I'll send it to everybody.
Yeah, how many people really think we have to have special reserve studies for roofing shingles for the office and the garage and for downspouts?
Well, these are studies. We have a 25 or 50-year warranty on the roof,
Something like that. I don't know, 30,
I-
a long time.
so, or is this a shed? Is this a shed?
You can re-roof this, you can re-roof this house for what, 12 grand?
No, it's less than that. Oh,
Well,
7.
Seven
It was
thousand,
seven,
I'd say
but-
seven
So let's
thousand.
say we have to do it, we have to do it
Yeah.
in 10 years, so, you know, but why, I just don't understand why that becomes a special,
Everybody look at it and
Yeah.
put
Well-
those kind of comments down,
Right.
which helps us to pare this list down even more.
Right.
But our roof has a warranty of what,
Right.
50 years, did you say?
That's
Or
something like
25, at least 25.
a while, I don't remember
In
now.
some
Yeah.
cases.
None of us will be in there.
I know.
I mean, I'm just
You put it
saying.
that way.
30 years.
Our kids like me.
Well, how can they not even
My
be
kids
here?
don't live here. Neither do yours, Aisha.
My kids are gonna have the fire sale.
Put a lot of buckets down.
I don't mean to, you know, cut it off, but I'm just saying, it's not like a.
Yeah.
cutting it, we've got to do due diligence and.
25 was the
I would also
middle
add
number for
that in
me.
some cases, the appropriate reserve is 0. I mean, since time immemorial, when people have had disasters, sometimes they don't replace it.
True.
Right,
You know,
yeah,
and we don't have to replace every damn thing.
Right,
Good
yeah.
point, yeah.
And some of them, I would even include like the boats and stuff like that. There's
Yeah, yeah,
dry hydrants, yes, replace.
Yeah.
Boat ramp,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
important, but, you know,
Well, property values is a thing, you know.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I mean.
There are amenities that you already have.
That was a
I think you
great-
want to
Lots of-
remodel.
yeah, lots of
I was
are
saying
going
that
up
I've
to
been
the
going,
roofs.
I've been going through old files, as we all know, my office is still a mess. And I can't tell you the arguments and the lawsuits and so
Yeah.
on that were going on in this community in the nineties.
And I
When
think Tony
CRE
has
owned
the-
everything and was letting it all
He
go.
wants to exclude everything.
So there is, you know,
Leave
I
enough
agree.
token.
a boat ramp, I don't think is something you would ever want to go. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying
I know.
that is, an amenity, it is not a necessity.
This
What,
is true.
the boat
And
ramp?
there's a big distinction. there
That's
that we
true.
can't
Yeah,
ignore.
This is true.
no, I agree with that.
That makes
but-
sense.
That is a good point.
That makes
The
sense.
amenities
Good
are
point.
not
And I'm not saying we wouldn't fix it, we probably
I'll
would
send
agree
it
to fix it straight away.
Yeah.
But as far as,
Yeah, we don't
research
send it to
and,
them.
reporting to them,
No, but
so-
we're not passing it around now.
I don't think so.
We'll
No.
just take it back.
No.
So I'm gonna send it to the entire board.
Okay, right.
Does that make
We're
sense? to
sending
send-
it around.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I will send it tomorrow.
But did you highlight the ones that
They're
are,
already highlighted.
that are included?
I just
Yeah.
added
There's no
some stuff to
exclusion?
exclude.
Yeah,
I'm gonna send what I've done so far to
Okay.
everybody.
All right.
Okay.
And
So
you should
that-
respond
so
in
that I
your
can just be the
email
nasty
to
guy
say,
that says,
exclude this, exclude that.
Okay,
Okay.
good enough.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
This is
I think-
taking
I think-
forever.
I think we exclude.
you know what, as far as I'm concerned,
It doesn't
we
matter.
can
Exclude
take
everything.
forever.
Yeah.
We review it every
This is
month,
true.
and we just
This
keep
is true.
moving
Still
right
working on
along,
it.
and when
Because
you
they,
we're
they
working
didn't
on
get
it.
it right, and we're trying to,
That's
Oh,
all.
I know, I'm just,
yeah, so.
All right,
but yeah. I just don't want like a piecemeal,
That's
oh, I
fine.
did
They
something.
gave, they gave you a deadline which turned out to be totally bogus.
yeah, which
Yeah.
wasn't true.
And then we missed it.
No, Oh,
We
God.
both of them, I think there've been two that.
All right, we are at security cameras, or does somebody else want more to say about that wonderful reserve study?
No, done.
No.
Then I guess we are at security.
No, okay, security cameras. Let's see. So, this black, can you guys see that?
we have,
Yeah.
For the most part, it's playing around with some options. So anyway.
That's a method to get everybody, I think.
Do you have a full screen option on that?
I do.
I can go over that side of the
yeah,
room.
that's a beauty.
So, anyway, some options. Looked at the Arlo camera. This particular camera is battery operated. It's cellular, doesn't need any Wi-Fi. Can be connected, pretty easily. In my opinion, I'll show you, I did some test shots with this one. Well, you'll have your own opinion on whether you can see. Has some options, it can trigger on motion, it can trigger on animals. It only really gives you a cut during the time someone's there. The batteries will last fairly long. There's a solar on, we can put a solar recharger. So we likely could put it up on a pole fairly high, away from some knotheads, knuckleheads, et cetera, could take it down with, or at least it'll take an effort to get it done. And it'll pretty much, you'll be able to see it on your phone, or you'll be able to see it on a computer. This is it, pretty simple. I'll turn it away from the center.
Is it weather?
It is
Resistant?
weather resistant, it'll last a pretty
Yeah.
long time. Cost of it is, buy a camera, about $250 or some options. My opinion is we'll likely need two, maybe three, but likely two. Solar stations are $35, so we invested tomorrow, we did two, it'd be $600. And the cell service is about $30 per month per camera. you'd be able to see, like I said, we all have access, but would not have access at once. You can see it on your computer, you can see it on your phone, you can hear what's going on out there, and you can speak to them as a microphone.
Yeah.
Now, that would be,
I know.
Let me just show you some test shots, let me get it, is it out of
it's on.
presentation mode?
You said it doesn't require, wires,
No.
so it's all.
That sounds pretty good.
How does it, is it,
Can you see, let me see something? Let me get
so it
it.
uses a cell connection?
Yeah, it's basically a little cell phone in there.
Okay, so, and they provide the cell subscription service?
Yeah, we'd have to go to
That's 30.
Verizon or AT&T.
Oh, you do?
We would have to have an account with Verizon. That's why I asked you that the other day.
Okay, well, look at Comcast Mobile.
Okay.
We have Comcast cable, right?
Yeah.
Okay, look at Comcast Mobile.
Okay.
We,
Do they have this kind of equipment, is that what you're saying?
well, all we're doing is getting a service.
Yeah, you.
We don't need
not-
equipment.
Yeah,
We've got
we
the
buy it,
equipment.
but.
Okay, so Comcast would work as well.
I don't know
Well, we have
if
to check on
Comcast, we
that.
could check, I know AT&T, that exact piece would come in AT&T, and I know Verizon and AT&T offer service for Arlo. I don't know, that
Yeah,
might be.
Okay.
check on that because, for instance, a single T-Mobile line
Uh-huh.
with a phone, you know, and some data and stuff, $50 a month. Comcast Business Mobile, 15.
And do they, we don't know if they offer cell service, Comcast. Isn't that, you said it's a cell?
No, that's Comcast Mobile is cell.
Oh, it is, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if in this.
And it rides on Verizon network, so it's, you know, it's not their own. The only question is their service compatible? And I don't know what the specs on this are.
I can make, if you connect me with Comcast, I can speak to them and see if it's compatible. I don't know.
Okay, I'll find a number.
Either.
Okay, I've got a guy at Comcast, Business Comcast. I've got a guy that I'm working with right now, I'll give you his phone number.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah. And I'll do
tell them
that.
that we're, you know, that we are a business, we have a business account, right?
Yeah, we
Just
do.
tell them we have a business internet account. And that should be enough to get us in the door.
Okay.
And what they do is they give, another question would be, how much data do we need to do this?
About 5 gigs.
Okay,
5 gigs a month.
Okay, then that's gonna help the price.
It's about 5. It might push it to 10, only because what will happen is from October to May, we're gonna run it 2 to 3 to 5. And then what will happen is, because it's motion triggered, it'll be running crazy in June, July, and August.
With more people.
And, you know, it will be, it would be overkill. At that point, we'd have a lot to look at. Or we wouldn't care.
Right.
So,
I'm just
Okay,
curious,
well, so whatever we do, we have to look at, because it's gonna be data driven.
It is data driven.
Yeah.
Jenny, you had a question?
I was just wondering how many cameras we're looking at, we're just looking at one?
No.
I think two.
I've got, Jenny, I can send you the test shot. I did some test shots and you'll be able to see. That is from, that's the camera low, but that's the camera from the porta potty place.
We've had 3 this past number of years, but maybe these are better in that, those are trail cameras, and these might have a wider view.
It looks like that's got a good
So maybe
wide
2
field of
would
view.
suffice.
That's from the picnic table.
Now, can you zoom, if you're looking
You
at,
could, yeah,
you can zoom?
you could zoom in. I can show you that on if you're on your phone or if
Right.
you're on your computer. These are just cuts, but, and this is, I put it on the infamous poles,
Mhm.
just to get a couple different looks.
I would think, given that wide angle shot, you could probably get by with 2, especially since you can zoom in. If you see something going on,
Mm-hmm.
then you can zoom in on,
And then just, I think this is a little bit maybe the downside. Not downside, I mean, I don't wanna be, there's night.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
at least as good as what we
as
have
good as our
now.
trail cameras, yeah.
Yes.
Alan, does this keep for a day or how many days?
They'll keep it
Because
for a long,
sometimes-
these clips will keep for a long time.
So that
Okay.
if you needed, if the cops sometimes will
Yeah.
come and say, did you get anything from
Yeah.
a Saturday?
Mhm.
Can we then come
Yes.
through it?
And can I put it on a, like a disc?
This is from the picnic table. The answer, yes, you
You
can
know,
have
like
it
if
on
you
your
wanted,
computer.
You make him a copy and hand it to him.
With them jobs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you look at it, what you would expect, and that's, there's one in Knothead you were talking about.
Yeah.
See,
Anybody we know? And where is that vantage from? Was that still from
There you
the?
go.
That one is from the picnic table.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one was from the pole, they put it on the fence rail. So, and then, if you're looking at,
Jimmy, did we answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much. But also, do you have to have self-service for each camera? I mean, I guess you would. if you
Yes.
pay for it
Yes,
separate-
yes, you have to have self-service.
And you pay for each camera separately?
Yes.
Yeah, just wondering. Okay, thank you.
I hope I didn't mislead.
No, I think that's on Alan's,
see like, and you still see my screen, right?
oh no, you're on 5 or something. I mean, we can see the screen.
Oh yeah, that's,
It's showing us
those are
the-
thumbnails.
Yeah.
It's got thumbnails on
That,
it.
you know, when I go back in this case, I mean, I'm going back pretty far. I mean, this is a thumbnail of my front house from 2 weeks ago.
So you have this camera?
This is what I have as a download. This is a company camera, but it's
Okay.
pretty much the same.
Okay.
Or,
Well, can you find out how, I mean, do they archive?
they do not, no.
Okay, so any archiving that has to be, we have to do ourselves.
We would do ours.
Well, I would say there must be a period of time, like a month. You know, we haven't had any reports of anything, so can we just like save it for a month and just every,
You'd save it for
or
a
archive it?
very long time. I could go back. I mean, I've never looked, I have months of
Okay.
these thumbnails.
And it's automatic? It's
Yeah,
automatic?
yeah, it would be, yeah, it would be
Okay.
automatic.
So how would we know when, so it's not on a drive at all?
It's,
It's
it
being
is,
kept
it is,
online.
in this case, it's either on your phone, your SIM card on your phone, or your hard drive on your
On a computer?
computer.
Yeah, okay.
And, so, there you go, so.
Yeah.
You see?
So,
Yeah.
Those
And we've
people
been
should be
filming
arrested.
us.
so you're using this camera at your home now?
Yeah.
Okay, and how long have you been using it? Just approximately, a year, 2 years, whatever?
Year or two.
Okay,
A
so
year and a
are you
half.
satisfied with them? You like them?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's why you're recommending this one?
Yeah, I have two other options
Okay,
for you to consider, but I would say, if you ask me, am I recommending this, based on budgets and what I believe to be the difference, I probably would get to that place where I'm saying, yeah, I recommend this,
okay.
versus, you know, you've got, in the end, there's a camera I'm about to show you that would look similar to that, which is arguably overkill. That's a parking lot in Kentucky, and, you know. that you
Looks like one camera would do that whole thing.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
one
that's-
camera, and that said is that
It's more
particular
expensive.
camera is going to be, it's gonna look a little bit like this. That one's has some marketing, but you know, it's about $500 per month.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Oh,
I'm
thank
not
you.
even gonna take a note on
And
that.
a little bit, if I'm reading the room, I thought that might be,
It's a lot.
Done.
Or there's another one that would have very similar, we could do a self-contained 2-camera set that you got a box way up there, you put a MVR inside of it and you end up hooking it up and a professional's gotta do it and it's gonna cost us $7,000 and we'll have it forever.
Yeah.
And you'll still need the cell phone service for,
And then we have to include it in the reserve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so,
We don't have it now, so we don't have to include it.
I'm just-
so, yeah, so anyway,
just wanna see
do I
if-
recommend it? It seems to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You do it, it does seem to be somewhat,
Well, I think we
Yes,
are, you
yeah.
know,
I think
out
it's-
of the baseline, two of them,
Yeah.
and answer some questions about cell options.
yeah, I'll call your guy.
Who can, I'll get you the number and check a couple of them, see,
And that's about what we paid for the trail cameras,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the solar setup.
Yeah, this
And
is
these are
better.
far
This is
above.
better. Yeah, at the Drum Point Club, we have something too, that was installed, I think
Trail
it's called.
cameras or?
No, it's something like this,
Oh,
because we can
nice.
see when people, because we were having a lot of break-ins, and we didn't know who was doing it, and so we have one for the front door,
Good.
and it goes into the entrance, so that you can see who's coming in.
but there's a sign there that says ADT too, do they have?
They just changed, they just added changes.
Yeah, I don't- I-
It's interesting.
Eric would know more of the stuff than I do, but
Maybe they
I just know
Well,
that
maybe
they
they don't
up
use it,
there.
but they leave
I
the
think-
sign up there
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
to
Yeah, I
change
just
it.
know they up their
Yeah.
security, so, yeah,
You know, they say the sign is sometimes better than the burglar alarms.
yeah.
One thing, in the past, when we've had trouble, has it been kids on bikes or foot, or has it been people that have come in a car? And the reason I'm asking is, do we wanna get a license, do we wanna put a camera where we get someone's license plate coming in?
Would this be
And-
a license plate?
I think
the
the
others
answer is
no.
yes, but I would test it.
Really?
This is not an overly sophisticated piece of
Right.
equipment, that if someone's coming in at 30, you're not likely to get it because it's
Yeah,
not, it's 1.5 megapixels and you need
right.
5 to get that.
I'd say it's probably kids
Or
on
is it
bikes
kids
and
and
bike
it
foot
doesn't
and
matter?
so on. There's only ever, that I can recall, been one major issue, and that was a woman was attacked. Not on, I mean, she was probably on a date and in a car and all that. And the police did come
On
in
the
and.
beach?
Mhm. This is a couple years,
We
quite a
got-
few years
We
ago.
had a vehicle incursion in there, though, a couple, 2 or 3 years ago.
Where they got stuck in the sand.
Yeah.
Yes, well, there's that kind of thing. Well, those are the idiots that we talk
And
about.
then there
But
was
as far as
the
a
guys-
real crime,
The guys that I think were driving in the sand and then removing that lumber from, was on the Drum Point, left side.
yeah, the down
Big
trees,
guys?
yep,
Yeah.
those guys,
I think
yes,
they
that
were,
were
they
good.
had driven in.
Yeah, so there's not been an awful lot, but not, I think now with this jetty,
Yeah, yeah.
we really want to prevent vandalism and so on. What about warranty? What's, like, in the past with these trail cameras, there's been a couple of times over the years, at least in the beginning, it's far out, away from their warranty now. We had to buy like an additional warranty, but they were good, they just exchanged those cameras, boom, no questions asked. They didn't even try to fix them because they were already a bit
I
out
know,
of date,
it
it was
would-
easier to just replace.
You would,
Yeah,
Would there be a
So is there a
situation
warranty?
where you would want to use a
1
different?
year's the warranty.
1-year warranty, okay.
When,
And they'll
when
just give you.
when you're talking about the Arlo camera, and that's great for most of what we need, but is there an idea that we might get a better camera for one particular view if we're trying to look at
Yeah,
license
but
plates?
that'll up the cost
But you're not doing it for
substantially.
all, you're just doing it.
No, but yeah, but
Yeah.
even the one
Yeah,
camera,
Yeah, it's much more expensive,
is-
right?
Yeah.
The Arlo cameras have gotten better. I mean, that camera 2 years ago was not as clear as the one today.
Mhm.
And for $200, you were getting a 1 megapixel camera. Now you get a 1.5 or a 2. I mean, it's really very similar to your Ring camera. It's not that much, it's not that much different. So,
I mean, if we're
Well,
worried
that,
about
I think
license.
at that cost, you start off with that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, see.
yeah, I mean, it's,
And you'll see what kind of car it is, you know,
See if
the
we
vehicle.
Think we need something better later.
would we, as far as putting it up, does Joe put it up? Do you want me to figure that out?
I don't know if Joe should be going up
I mean,
ladders.
my thought would be, you have to be high enough up to,
His,
be higher.
would young Joe be You think-
Yeah, I think we can,
We're so busy.
we'll find someone.
Oh, and Steve would probably help, I dare say.
I mean, it's
He's
not,
offered
it
to
really is
volunteer
literally,
things.
unfortunately, I forgot the base.
Okay,
It is 3 screws.
right,
And then there's 3,
But you have to go up a ladder.
there you go.
Yeah.
I mean,
so.
you can see
but there-
it's 3 screws there, right? 3 screws.
Yeah, so, but there'd
3
be no
screws
more
on
of
the
this having to pull the chip every 6 weeks to,
Mhm.
look at it
No.
and replace it.
It does have a
It's-
chip in there, but, which would get written over. But if
Oh,
you have it on your
okay.
computer,
That would be okay.
that would be, you wouldn't have to go up and get
Right.
it.
And the solar panel, are there also batteries to back up that solar panel?
The battery is in the
Okay.
device.
Okay.
Um,
So it doesn't have to be changed out?
No, you don't have to go up there
Okay,
every X.
right.
But one day when the battery dies.
Well, sure.
Born, it's a recharger, the
Well-
solar thing's a recharger.
Well, and
it's
I
not
know the
a battery.
mistake that we were making in the beginning with the trail cameras, we didn't know. You had to charge those solar panels on, plug them into your computer, charge them up and then put them out there. And then the solar would take over, hold the charge.
Well, that's because must have been a battery in there.
Maybe, I don't
We don't
know.
charge
I just know they
solar
kept dying, and I
Yeah,
got on the
that's what-
phone, and he's like, are you
that's-
charging them? No, I didn't know we needed to. You had
Well,
to
they
charge
have-
them and then put them.
Yeah, the solar panel is basically charging a battery.
Right, so
you
getting
might
it
have to- You might have
charged,
to do an initial charge on it.
Yes.
but-
exactly.
Yeah.
And so maybe this would be the same, I don't know, but yeah, that's exactly it, Mike, we weren't doing that initial charge.
So
No,
that's-
I think they sound good.
So now, here's the question, do we have, we wanna wait for the rates for the.
Yeah, we just need to,
salaries.
know what the.
Yeah, yeah, let's wait for that, and then we can vote on the motion, because I think that's the camera. But
Yeah,
it's just-
Yeah.
All right, so we've done that. Any does anybody have any new business? No. Carryover business? No,
So I was just curious what the, Rhea, you sent out an email about, the guy wanting to do the trail on the lot up by Eagle.
He's never gotten back to me. I sent him an email to let him know that, it's been a while now, but to let him know the feelings of the board and so on, but that it really wasn't something that we could prohibit. But I urged that he should talk to we would want to see the, whatever agreement he has with the owner of that property. That man lives in Mexico.
Why would we wanna see it?
Well, I don't know, it just seemed like it made sense to me. I don't know, maybe not, maybe we don't
Don't
care.
get yourself involved in
Yeah,
a
I
legal
suppose you're
issue in
right.
which you have no standing.
I suppose you're right, I suppose you're
Don't
right.
do it.
Robin Monikaizen responded to say, and she copied me, the person on it, that he would go to apply for any permits, if.
Right.
And I just sent that to him.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's all.
Yeah, that's
He's
fine.
probably back in college and not thinking about it now.
I know, right? Yeah, but you're,
Although break's not over
By
yet.
spring.
By spring, right.
Yeah.
He'll be back at it again.
He ain't got a girlfriend.
Maybe he's got a girlfriend. He's a nice, he's a nice young man.
Then he'll drop the whole.
oh, you
notice.
do know him,
I
that's
do
right,
know.
that's right, he
Yeah.
said he
No.
does work for you.
Yeah, he
Or he
did,
did,
when he
for
was a
John.
teenager,
Yeah,
yeah. And
that's
his
right.
mom is
Yeah.
a great lady.
Is she? Yeah.
She's fabulous.
Good, yeah.
So,
He was very, very nice, and I thought it was kind of mature of him, if you will, that he even thought to come to the board and ask about it, versus just going out there ripping and tearing and doing it. So, crazy kids.
All right, how about, schedule the next meeting. I have no dog in the fight of the next meeting because I will not be in the country. So,
Nor will I.
I will, but, so Bonnie or Jack, or
Bonnie or
delay
Jack?
the meeting.
The 6th of February is the first Tuesday in February.
It's my birthday.
Can we delay it until Thursday or the following Tuesday? And does that make any difference with Mike? Are you back in town?
I won't be back. I don't think, but I don't think so.
The
So
following
February
Tuesday is Lent.
13?
The following Tuesday is Lent, I think.
Well, the following Tuesday,
It
Oh,
comes,
that's Punchki Party.
Okay.
what date, what's
Can't have
the
a-
date on that?
Can't have
12th?
a meeting then.
The 13th, oh, I'll be back on the
What about-
12th, I think.
What about the 15th then? And then Tony can run the meeting. That would be Thursday.
That's the best day for me. Almost all of those dates, I've got a volunteer evening thing.
Sorry.
You guys are doing this on
Was
purpose.
the eighth?
Yeah, well, oh, you mean the week before? The
Yeah, the
8th
eighth.
or the 15th?
The 8th is a Wednesday?
Thursday, it's
Thursday.
Thursday.
Oh, well, yeah.
Let me see.
I can get here, but I'll be late. So,
Well, how about the 15th then?
15th, I'm wide open.
I just said
Unless
15th.
I-
because
Oh, I
Tony will
can't
be
come on
back
the
in town.
15th, I think I'm going to Kenny said, I think that's no, I'll take it like so I can't do the 15th. But whatever, we know.
Well, you know what? We're just gonna figure out a way to get a quorum. That's
That's
it.
it, that's
That's all
what
there
you're
is
worried
now.
about.
So the 15th,
I can't come.
okay. Susan, you can be here, but we'll be late.
He'll be
The
back.
Tony.
15th, I can
back.
be, the 15th, I can be here. It's
Okay.
the other
Tony
days.
will be
Oh,
back.
okay. Alan, how about you on the 15th? So 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah, I can be here.
5. There's a
Okay, you
quorum.
got it, yeah.
Jenny?
15th works for me.
There's a quorum. So the 15th.
Yeah, I don't think I can, because I think that's when I have tickets, so
Okay.
I won't come.
All right, 15th, yeah.
I'd really go.
Mike, where are you
I'm
guys
going to
going?
see the Temptations.
Where's
Oh,
that?
fun.
Florida.
Oh, fun, that'd
Warm
be
weather.
great.
All right,
Oh, yeah.
All right.
so I guess it's a wrap.
Yes.
We're
good.
done.
Well,
Yeah.